So here's the deal. This is officially the first time I have ever hit the record button while sitting here playing video games. And I have to tell you, it feels incredibly strange. I have been sitting on this idea for literally eternity, and I'm not even kidding. For years, I have this plan in the back of my head to start sharing what I'm doing, but I kept finding every reason under the sun to push it off. I told myself that I could not possibly start until I had the most professional microphone or the perfect lighting or maybe a gaming chair that didn't squeak every time I moved. I was looking for a perfect recipe for success before I even stepped into the arena. I was waiting for some kind of signs or a perfect resume of skills that I would guarantee I wouldn't look like a total amateur. But today, I realized something that hit me pretty hard. There's no such thing as a perfect moment. There's no perfect versions of anything that's going to guarantee my success. If I keep waiting for the optimal setups or the optimal way to present myself, I might never actually take any actions at all. I've been deluding myself with this idea of a perfected future version of me. You know the one I mean. It's that imaginary person who lives 6 months or a year from now and somehow has all their life together. I felt like my current self just wasn't powerful enough to handle the task of making a video and being out there. So I pinned all my hopes on this future version of myself who could magically do all the stuff I'm currently too afraid to do. But that future version is kind of a ghost. That future version of me doesn't even exist unless the person I am right now, today, in this room with a stressed demeanor, start taking actions. I have to get up and just try because trial and error is the only way forward. There's nothing wrong with failing because failing is just the process of eventually learning how to do something the right way. And believe me, those voices in my head are loud. They're telling me that I'm never going to be successful and that everyone is just going to make fun of me. They are asking me what the point is in even just trying if I'm going to fail again. For a long time, I've listened to those voices until I was just sick of them. We think we're going to magically wake up one day and be okay and decided that we are going to not be scared anymore. But it doesn't work that way. I've learned that we make about thousands decisions every single day. For a long time, I was making those decisions from a place of fear. But today I'm making the decisions to do this video scared. If I can't do it scared, I've decided I'm going to do it ironically. I'm doing it for the plot or for a gag. Because doing it ironically add a sense of lightness to the whole thing. It helps me move out of my comfort zone without the crushing weight of having to be perfect. That is what I call micro dosing risk. Now, we usually think that taking a risk in life has to be this huge, life altering drama, like waking up one day and move to a different country or even quit a job of 7 years. But in reality, risk is mostly made up of very small, consistent steps. It's about noticing the pattern in your heads and trying to break the loops. Think of your brain like it's full of marbles, all right? You have this little jar or container of your habits, and every time you have a thought that says it's too embarrassing to speak up or I'm not confident enough, a marble's go into the fear jar. My goals today is just to move one marble into an action jar. It's going to feel uncomfortable at first because my brain wants to go back to what it's familiar. But I have to keep repeating the action so the marble starts going in the right directions more often. So since I'm already pushing myself to make this video, I thought, why stop there? Why not do everything for the first time today? I've decided to start with something incredibly minor but weirdly difficult for me. For the first time in my life, I chose to drink a full glass of water this morning before I reached for my coffee. I know it sounds like nothing, right? I do it. I did it ironically. I told myself that wouldn't it be funny if I actually hydrated my body instead of causing immediate dehydration? It was a tiny way to reward myself and get my minds moving into an ascending emotional spiral rather than a descending one. It's kind of about gaslighting yourself into staying in our comfort zone all the time. So we might as well shift that energy towards something that actually help us. I spent a lot of time being that person who stand on the sideline. I used to have so much social anxiety that my own mom thought that the world just eat me alive. I was kind of timid and soft spoken and I didn't know how to talk to strangers. I wasn't the party person. I was more of a nerd. I realized that if I wanted to be a part of a community, I would have to learn to do social. I had to force myself into exposure therapy. I had to learn to relax my body, give my chin up, and just say, "Hi, I'm me. Nice to meet you." And every time I did that, instead of shying away, I was moving a marble into a new jar. It didn't mean the anxiety vanished instantly, but it meant I was starting to record it. But it meant that I was starting to reconditioning myself. I learned that you just can't let the fear of cringe stops you. And if something goes wrong or I say something's wrong, I've learned to just laugh it off and say, oh well, that adds a sense of lightness that helps you to keep going. And it's the same thing with these videos that I'm playing right now. I'm probably going to miss a jump or get defeated by a skeleton. But who cares? I'm here and I'm doing it. I'm moving the marbles. We often delude ourselves into thinking we need small experience before we can start. I've heard that people say, they will apply for a job when they have a better resume, or they will talk to the person that they think is cute when they feel more confident. But just stop waiting. There's no tomorrow. Well, I don't mean that literally, of course, but philosophically, tomorrow doesn't really exist. You can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. Anything could happen tomorrow that derails your plan. So putting things off only sets a momentum of doing it later. When you seize the moment right now, you set a different energy in emotion, a momentum that says, I did it today, so I can do it again tomorrow. I have had to figure it out so many times in my life. I've learned that the most important moments of my life were the ones I did while I was terrified. I've had to be raw and just rugged with my process. There were times I went on what I called mental illness walks because I was fighting demons in my mind and dragging myself out of a depressive hole. I didn't wait to feel healthy or optimal to move my body. I just did it ironically because I knew I needed to stay sane. You have to work with the language of your own personality. You, if you have a rebellious or sarcastic attitude, use that. Do it for the plot. Wouldn't it be funny if you actually succeeded? I'm thinking about building a sense of self, like I'm laying bricks. A year ago, I was putting bricks in and I wasn't even sure what I was building, but I have a vision. I had to microdose standing on business and setting boundaries that all the people wouldn't come in and break down what I was trying to create. You have to decide that your opinion of yourself take precedence over everyone else's opinion. People are going to say things no matter what you do, so you might as well build what you want to do. You get to decide who does and doesn't have an impact on your sense of self. Well, it's not a perfect process. Sometimes you have to renovate or even demolish and start again. But the point is to stay aware and keep building. There's a quote that says, the best time to plant a tree was 50 years ago, but the second best time is today. Maybe you feels like you wasted time or you missed your chance, but you just can't change the past. You can only plant the tree now, water it and give it the right nutrients. 50 years from now, that tree you plant today is going to be something amazing. I'm planting my tree right now with this first video. It might be small, awkward, a little sapling, but it's planted. So, are you willingly to do scared today? Don't wait until the tragedy of life catch up to you. We kind of often wait too long to get started, thinking that we have all the time is in the world. But if you can't do it scared, do it ironically, do it for the plot. Imagine that instead of failing, you're going to be a wildly successful and impact so many lives. Imagine how happy you'll be that you just started this games, this water I drank, the walk I'm going to take later. It's just all breaks. And they are all just marbles being moved. I'm not going to let the fear of being cringe stop me becoming the version of myself I want to be. I'm going to keep failing forwards and enjoy the messiness of it all. I hope you decide to do the same. Never back down, never give up, and just do it.